All right, y'all, we back with another video. So today we are going to be, doing a guide on the new, I mean, it's not really new, but it's basically a reoccurring event. If you aren't familiar with it, it's basically the SO and Kechizu versus SP battle. Today we're going to be doing a guide essentially on the evaluation mode of it, right? And basically we're just going to show you off all the handicaps and things that you want to select, because of course this mode you give modifiers to the enemy to increase your overall evaluation score, and the higher that your score is, obviously the more difficult it's going to be, because you're handicapping yourself and you'll get more rewards off it, right? So this is going to be the SP feature mode, or whatever you want to call it, of the actual event. And yeah, there's basically going to be like buffs and debuffs and things that you're going to want to use here, but we'll get right into it. So I'm just going to go through them. So as you can see, like I mentioned before, you are going to have an evaluation score if you aren't familiar with it. And based on that evaluation score, you're going to, obviously there's a point system. And each debuff or buff has different, I guess you could say, rankings of how much you are buffing the enemy, different like tiers. So there's going to be a +1, +2, and +3, and then obviously they're going to give different percentages. So like for this first one, for example, you're going to have 10% less HP on your team, and then obviously it's good, at +2 it's going to be 20%, and then 35% at +3, right? So for here we're going to choose 35%. Then for the increase in damage for the enemies, it's going to be at 20%, so it's going to be +2. Then over here, to increase the enemy's HPs, we're going to give them 70%, and this is going to be +3. Then to increase the amount of damage that they reduce, this is going to be 60%, so it's going to be another +3. Then here, when they get to the threshold of 75% or less, right, then they're going to have an increase. I believe it's curse technique increase, but I might be incorrect. I don't remember exactly what this text is, but get +2 here. Then over here, this one doesn't matter too much, so you could go +3. It's not going to be a big factor. Then this one is going to be how quickly they get their ults. So instead of just getting 1, they're going to get 2 basically every turn. So this is going to be +3. Then here we're going to get +3, and then here, last but not least, we're going to get a +2. This is going to give you an overall of 24 points, which will allow you to get the final reward, right? Now let's go right into it and actually talk about teams. So we're going to have this team right here. This team is going to be revolving around a bunch of buffers, and of course Hollow Purple Gojo as our main DPS. So we're going to have Yaga as our buffer, we're going to have Inumaki as our ult charger, and then we're going to have Yuki as our curse energy regen, and on top of that, our buffer again with his ult. And then we're going to have Hollow Purple Gojo as our big nuke. We have Momo using the newest memory from I believe it was Miguel's banner. Now, you don't necessarily need this memory. You can use any memory that kind of gives you a support or like a buff in damage, but the reason why I'm using this one specifically is due to the fact that I needed a little bit of ult charge. So that is the biggest reason why I'm using this here, right? Is the biggest reason. You could use the Kamo's archery lesson, or you could use Wasp or whatever, or if you want to make sure that you get one turn in before you get hit again, then of course you can use any memory that gives you ult charge. But I'm going to be using this one specifically, or you could just stall one more turn than I do in this video and just go with another support memory, and then that will be enough damage guaranteed. Anyways, that's basically going to be the team setup and obviously all the handicaps. So without further ado, let's actually get into the showcase. All right, so we're here in the fight. This is going to be the most simple fight ever. You're probably going to be like, what the hell? This is the easiest shit I ever done on JJK, bro. Well, yeah, it is. So we're going to use Unity straight away, skill 2. Then we're going to Inumaki skill 2. He's already got the draw target because we have the Yuji memory on him. So he should die here. Then we're going to skill 3 with our Yuki. And then we're going to skill 1 with our Gojo onto, it doesn't matter who. I usually just attack Eso because Eso has the most HP of the two. So he's dead. And then he attacked Gojo, we're fine there, right? Now we just need to survive one turn, which should be easy. So what I do here is we're going to buff, then we're going to buff with Momo, then we're going to use skill 2 on our Yuki, and we're going to use it on himself, right? Because we want to make sure that he survives. Here we're going to skill 2 with our Gojo onto Eso. Of course, we can't debuff him, but we can at least get the buff from it. All right, so our Yaga lived. Obviously, you can reset a couple times to guarantee that your Yaga probably doesn't die or one of your characters don't die. Obviously, I got the most unlucky, unfortunate scenario where he literally got double targeted. It's fine though. We're just gonna buff here. We're going to buff, and then obviously we're gonna use the memory. We don't necessarily need to use the memory, but we're going to. Right, we're gonna use it. But like I mentioned earlier, if you get to this situation and your Gojo does not have enough ult, you can use another memory, which will give you survivability for your team, right? You'll to at least, but it has to be an AoE damage reduction memory, right? To be able to tank Kechizu's ult here, okay? Just keep that in mind, right? That's granted you, but you should have enough damage, right? You shouldn't have enough damage, and obviously the easiest way to do it is just to have a memory on Momo that can charge your ult, so that way you can ult on turn 3. So then here we're going to use the memory on Yuki with, of course, his ult, and then we're going to use Gojo's ult with the memory. And yeah, obviously we don't have 4 buffs of Yago, so like I mentioned before, if you do have a memory to give you survivability for 1 more turn to last at least, then you could do that instead of using another memory to kind of charge your ult. Or you could just have a support memory if you are able to get Gojo here on this turn, like his ult, to give you more damage, right? Either or, right? Because the next turn, the following turn, you'll be able to get 4 stacks of your Yaga buff, right? And that's going to be a little bit more damage to kind of offset whatever you're missing. So you're just going to have to play around it and kind of test yourself. But this is quite literally the simplest and easiest team that you could really do. But you're just going to have to make a little bit of altercations on your Momo's memory, depending on your circumstances, on if you're able to get your Gojo ult in time or not. Right? Anyways, this should be the end of Eso and Kechizu. Very easy, very simple. And yeah, that's it. That's literally going to be the S rank evaluation with 24 points. This is going to net you all the rewards. These are all the handicaps that are here. Obviously, Hollow Purple Gojo is the MVP, and then Inumaki is strictly there just to sit there and give you ult charge and then die the following turn. Obviously, make sure to, of course, you know, get the... Actually, I'm just going to show you my skill levels just in case if I didn't show it before. So these are my character skill levels just in case you didn't see it. But yeah, obviously having Inumaki's skill 2 at level 10 is going to help you tremendously in making sure that you get your Gojo ult within the 3rd or 4th turn. So you make sure you do have that up at least invested into. Anyways, guide is done. I'll see you guys in the next video. There should be another video coming out the following day or the day after, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, peace.